Hey guys, today I want to talk about something that really bothers me a lot, which is why it's on my personal channel. I ran into an issue at trans youth last week. I ran into a person that kept asking me to do things for them all the time on the previous video. And this video is about people who don't make informed opinions and inform themselves before they act. When I started this video, I encouraged everyone to do their own research in addition to watching me. I encouraged everyone to do their own research to attain their own results and inform their own opinions. But because a whole bunch of people have decided that I am a primary source of information, they haven't been doing their research at all. Now this bothers me a lot because I don't know everything. I am a very subjective person to be taking information from, and although I do have my experiences, and although I'm very experienced when it comes to transition, after being in transition for so long, I've discovered that it becomes a little bit of an issue when people come to me asking exactly how they can find therapists in their area. And I'm not able to answer that because I live in little tiny itsy bitsy Fort Collins, Colorado, whereas the people who are asking me live in Venezuela or Wisconsin. Now, when it comes to actually doing research and everything, I understand that it is a little bit difficult. So what I wanted to do, instead of just complain about the issue all over the place on my own channel, is simply give you a few pointers. First, how to use search terms, punctuation, and various other items. 2, the various different areas that you'll be able to find that information, not including just Google, but also EBSCO, various other sources, using your local library as well as schools. And 3, how to actually enjoy doing research, finding those things that you find very interesting so that you're not just learning about how to do transition, but you're learning about how you want to do transition. Now, when it comes to research, the majority of these I actually gained from my high school teachers who told me exactly how to do research, but there are a few in here also that I have personally learned will make it a whole bunch easier. First thing is knowing how to search for stuff. When it comes to Google, even, and I'll just use Google as a general response since everyone knows how to use it, using quotations, asterisks, and various other forms of punctuation not only changes the way that it searches for things, but also changes exactly what it's searching for. If any of you have done your research on Google, Google basically makes it depending upon what pages are visited most often that are more relevant to your criteria, which essentially gives you all of the most popular pages for that particular search term. Now, when you combine 2 different search terms, it looks for both of those terms individually, finds them all as the most popular things, and then gives you the websites that have both terms in common on the same page first, which allows you to combine multiple different pages, find the most popular, the most reputable, and then puts it at the top, which is a really good way to do any form of search terms. However, it has its downsides. When it comes to Google, you're getting the most popular information on the internet, which is not necessarily the most credible. Doctors and scientists are not the most popular people on the internet, and because of that, it's very difficult to find all of those when you're going by the most popular and most hit-on pages. So what do I do when I'm using Google in order to search for actual real-life information? I put in quotes the words peer-reviewed. What it means by saying peer-reviewed is that it is an article that whereas multiple different other professionals with reputable fashions have reviewed the article and it has been published in a peer-reviewed journal. Peer-reviewed journals are the system by which scientists give other scientists their information and their conclusions on their experiments, which makes it a lot easier for you to find them as a reputable source. And number 2, Google is not the only search engine. When you're using any form of search engine, there's different ways that it searches various different objects, and there's different resources that each one uses in order to collect that database. You have multiple different searches that are available to you at all times. You have multiple different free searches. There's Dogpile, Wikipedia, Yahoo search, and various other things that you can use completely freely. And then there are other resources. Your library is probably subscribed to multiple different search engines such as EBSCO or Worldview or the World Encyclopedia or any one of those. So you can go there if you do want to get an object on a search engine that you don't have the ability to pay for. And schools are notorious for having their own search engines that search the search engines. You have multiple different databases. You can pick from various different topics, and then they give you search engines that pull from that particular area of knowledge, which is pretty mind-blowing and also incredibly useful. And number three, when we are talking about research, it sounds boring, it sounds terrible, and people only do it if they're being paid to do it. But we, as trans people who don't have anyone to give us that information, who don't have anyone to walk us through transition, and all of the information that we receive seems to be subjective, it's very important to realize that research in and of itself needs to be fun for you to keep doing it. For the past few months, I've been procrastinating doing research on SRS, which I'm supposed to be doing relatively soon. And in struggling in doing that research, I've realized that the reason I'm having that trouble doing that research is not because I don't want to study SRS. I find it to be absolutely fantastic. It's that other things just seem more fun. So because other things seem more fun, and because there are distractions, and because it requires a lot of work to research, I greatly suggest actually getting motivated by watching a few things that aren't necessarily research, but are kind of cool facts about the whole deal. For instance, I would start doing research for SRS simply by looking on YouTube for people who have gone through SRS and have given us their statements. Then from there, I talk about other peer-reviewed articles, like how does this work exactly? Create a list of questions that you have and get excited about those questions being answered, because this is a topic that is going to be very important to your life. This is a topic that could change things, and it's something that you should get excited about. Transition is exciting, therefore the research can be exciting. The next part of making research fun for anyone is actually reading the content. It's not talking about, oh, I have to read 20 pages. It's talking about, oh, I would like to read this page. It sounds interesting, and then get into it. When you see a novel, a teen novel, or whatever you love to read, you're not looking at how many pages there are. You're looking at the content that you are interested in. I do hope that these tips have at least helped you, at least a little bit, because I would absolutely love to hear of other people doing their own research, coming to me, giving me that research, informing me, informing others, being excited about what they're learning, and moving forward in their transition in a very informed manner, and making their opinions with background information intact. Every time I do trans youth, I always Google the question first, and I look at a few things, and I look at what the public's opinion is, and then I use that to inform my opinion, make my opinion on things, fight a little bit inside of my head, have the devil's advocate, and then do so. I really hope that these topics have kind of helped in order to help you inform your decision and inform your transition, and I want to hear more from you on this. If you think that there may be other items, then just toss them down below, but otherwise, thank you guys very much for watching. Bye, guys.